Hello everybody, my name's Spicy and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be tier listing every legendary and mythic in all of Raid. As far as I'm aware, I didn't go through and make sure every last one was in there, but I did add all of the new champions and I think all of them are there. So let's go ahead and hop over to this. So this is what I have here, and this is what I'm going to be working with, including the new guy. I think his name's like Onryo or something like that. All I know is he's insane, so I made sure to add him. I know there's like three other new ones coming with him, but he's really the one that I'm worried about. The rest of them are going to be just a little bit, I guess, just a tiny bit outdated, just because there's a few champs that aren't here, but I think everything should be fine. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to be basing them off of their overall usage, or if they really shine in one place, that can get them put up very high. So we're just going to go in order, and maybe I'll go through and pick a few that that aren't in order, but I'll try to stick somewhat in order, and we'll see what we can do. So let's go ahead and get started. One, Basafa, or yeah, Basafa. He's all right. He's a decent crowd control champion, and actually an HP champion that can hit pretty hard. I'd say he's probably B plus. We're going from S plus down to F. I figured after the B's, anything below that, there shouldn't be like a C plus, D plus, whatever. But we do need to have some clear difference between the very top and then S and then A plus, and you guys get it. But yeah, so we have Fushan. Fushan's really good for, well, at when Amius first came out, he was actually one of the only ways to just instant kill him. So I think he's really solid. He is the star of the Mythfu team and stuff. So I'd give him a B plus, and I guess we're gonna move Basatha down to B. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think Fushan's probably a B plus champion. Razin is probably gonna fall into the B area. Skull Lord Vargol, I'd give him a C. Some of these champions I'm not gonna talk too much about, and just kind of put them where I think they are. And when it comes to Razin, it's really just his cooldowns that hold him behind so far. But yeah, I think B is fair. Now, if we look at Python, I think it's perfectly fair to put Python at either A plus or S. If there was an S minus, I'd probably put him there, but I think A. No, I think S, because he's amazing in Hydra, he's amazing in PvP, he's good in any PvE content, really. Really shines in the Hydra in one of my teams, and I think it's only fair to put him at S because he is just amazing. Um, what even is this guy's name? Don't remember his name. I don't know how I... Vergumcar, that's what it is. I think he is a solid B tier. Necmo, I think A plus. I think S could be an argument, but I don't think that he's quite S tier with how things have changed. He's amazing for control, but you need more than control, and the only place he really shines is Hydra. And yeah, so I feel like that's fair. I think it's B for Krokmar. We're putting Teox at S plus. He's absolutely broken, insane champion. Krisk is going to be an S. We all know how Krisk works. He's fantastic. I don't know. I feel like he could go to a C tier. Rathalos, we're gonna put a A. I think A is fair for Rathalos. He had just a moment of stardom, but in that moment, he was fantastic and still is amazing. It's just he's outshined by some other champions. Rathalos is, not Rathalos, Ramontu is easily an S tier champion. Just so much control. Chagur is probably a B plus. He has a lot of control, can do a lot in arena, in waves in general, so I'd put him there. I think Sulfurion's an S. Really amazing champion. Norog, but an F tier. Probably one of the worst champion legendaries in all of Raid. Longbeard, give him an A tier. He's an OG when it comes to ally attack, and his ally attack is still one of the strongest in the game. Just because he's straight boost damage, which you don't see too often. Hackgorn to Smash Lord, after his buff, I'd give him a B+. Before, I probably would have put him D. Razzlevarg, I think, is easily an S tier. I think I would put him... I could put him there. I think he could be S+, but I think S is fair. S plus is really just for those absolutely god tier champions, the best of the best. I think Razzle just falls under that. Um, the Panda, Bambus, he's okay. I'll put him at C. War Chief, a D tier. Aidlin, a D tier. Nishak, S to A plus area. I'd put him A plus. Gwendolyn, she's very solid, a solid control champion. Well, she brings some control with a lot of damage. I think she's very similar to Razzle, but just doesn't do it nearly as well. And I think that lands her at A. Snake Track, great for ally protect, leech, decrease speed. I'd put him at a probably an A tier. Samson, lackluster for damage, okay for control. I'll put him C tier. Cleo, she's alright for damage, has an AoE hex, can be pretty useful, and a lockout, so I'd say she can go there. Regash, I would put at an A+. I love Regash, but I don't think he's the best of the best. I think he falls just under somebody like Harima or Marius. But yeah, we have Coronar. Coronar is kind of really fallen off over time, but I think he's still a solid B+. Lugan is a D tier. Tunisia, I think A plus is really fair. Leo, another A plus. Marius, S plus. He's absolutely broken. Really, anywhere you put him, he's going to shine more than almost anybody else in the game. Almost a guaranteed AoE stone skin strip that can't be sheeped is just insane and does a shit ton of damage, as well as countering mythics and stuff. Just insane. Grow Hack, he's actually not bad. I think he's a B tier. Kreela, she's fallen off so incredibly hard. I think I'll put her at C. Tila is probably an A. I'd put her at A. I forget his name, and that isn't good for him. Everybody pulls him all the Danag Skull Reap. I think C tier. Artak is probably S. Fantastic champion. Robar, another C tier. Gomlock, I think B plus is fair for him. Septimus, all he has is one hard hitting single target max HP. I would rather use Cold Heart. Put him at C tier. For a minute there, he was really good. But then I believe it was like a month later, we had Xena come out, and then he just kind of fell off for me. I think with some extra damage, he'd be amazing. I think C is fair. Shayek, he's actually a really solid champion. I'd put him at A. I think that's fair. Nodgar, he had his Sand Devil thing going on there for a second, but I don't think he's much of anything at the moment. Probably C tier. Iron Brago, yeah, he's probably B. Just a solid champion. Varl, I'd put at... Oh, no, that's not Varl. I'd put Varl at... Put him at S tier. Amazing Hydra DPS, as well as good really everywhere for damage. Bringing that decrease attack and weaken as well can be pretty hard to find sometimes, so I think A plus is probably the best place to put him. Jag, really a D tier. Warlord an S tier. Helicath S tier. Angar, even after his buff, he's awful. Raka, A plus. Supreme Gaelic an S. Richthof, I think C. Kymar is S, and barely anybody does what he does, and well, nobody does what he does. Nobody has a full reset. I believe the only other ones that have resets are going to be the either 1 turns or the 3 turns. He does it completely, which is very strong. Tyrant is probably a B tier. Then we have a Countess Lix. I think she's easily A plus. Hefrak A plus. Squirted B tier. Drexler B. Candy B plus. Sissia A. I forget his name. I know he's not that great. I'll put him at C. Wither, really solid at an A tier. Kaja, really solid at an A tier. Mortu, Harima counters him really hard, but he's still a fantastic champion for Arena. So I'd put him between A, well, B plus and A minus in my opinion, but I think he leans more towards A. Lord Shazar has gotten a little bit of spotlight recently, and I think A is fair for him. Duchess is still an S tier champion. Krutraxa is an A tier. I really like Krutraxa actually. Inithwi is B plus. Lamansu, I believe is her name. She's actually really solid. I'd give her an S actually. Crip King, I'd put him there. Rhodos, S plus. He's absolutely insane. Has always been the top of the top tier. Saito's pretty bad, like really bad actually. I say really bad, but he still hits really hard, so I think B is fair. Aislinn is probably an A. F. Morrigan is really strong at an A plus. He's bad, but he has an AoE A1. He has a cleanse. I'd put him at a C. Bad L, still a great champion at A. Blood Gorged, such a niche champion. C. EDK is S plus. That champion is busted. Masha Led, I'd give an A plus. Nethril is an A. He's also an A. Harvest Jack is probably a C. Siphi is an S. Raglan is probably a B plus right now. Necrit is still an A plus in my mind. Eros is really solid. Put him at a B plus. Little Miss Annie. I love Little Miss Annie actually. I think she's at least an A. Vlad, probably a B plus. Valkanen, S. Any of the ones that I feel like are just a little bit unique or just a different type of option I think most people would pick. I feel like a lot of people would put Valkanen lower, but he's insane. That block revive ability, that secret skill is one of the best in the entire game. Just one of the best skills for just pure one-shot potential. He also has an amazing Hex, does a lot of damage in Hydra while also being an amazing arena nuker. Landicus is probably an A tier champion. Ray, probably a B plus, decent damage. Foley, I think he's an A plus. I've always loved Foley. I have a little bit of a bias for him. He was my first legendary, but I still use him to this day, and I think that says a lot. Noct, is his name Noct the Paralyzer or something? He's okay. Yeah, he's alright. Truath, also another alright champion. Baron, probably an A plus. Zavia, an A. Now we are down to we opened up A's. A seemed to be the most common so far. Moranix, probably a B plus. Vizier, a B plus. Chromax, F. Astrolith is a niche, but really good in her niche. I put her at B plus. Ghostborn, still one of the only guaranteed, I think the only guaranteed AoE decreased defense. And he gives increased attack. He brings a lot of consistency to some runs. I think he's a B tier though. Queen Eva is S after her buff. She's insane. Ruel is probably a B plus. Altan, he's D. Lanicus, not Lanicus. I forget her name. No disrespect to her. She's actually a great champion. Put her at an A. Lydia is S. Lord Champford is B, Cythalia is B, Taras is S+. If you guys have any questions about my rankings of any of these champions, be sure to comment down below and I will be answering all comments, but I think so far everything is pretty self-explanatory. I'd say my only kind of iffy picks here would maybe be having UDK in S tier, but in S plus tier, but he really just runs the arena still to this day. Since the day he came out, he's still one of the most picked champions in all of arena. Vizix, we have her at A plus, just an amazing control champion, changes a lot of people's accounts, and I have a lot of respect for that champion. Mithrala is an S tier champ, just fantastic. I think Chamarga is also an A plus champ. I think she gets way too much hate and is actually fantastic. Supreme Kale, yeah, is it A plus fair for him? I think so. I think A plus is where I put Supreme Kale. Vitalis is going to go in the A tier. With some extra multipliers, he would be way higher, but right now he's going to be A. We have Narma, who's going to be probably B tier. She's okay. Gaius, A tier. Shemnath, B tier, will B plus. Eric's another B plus. Nuker and Korra is S plus, one of the best supports in all of Raid. The same thing with Marichka here. They run the arena. They're both amazing in Hydra. They can also work in a bunch of other places, and they're just amazing. Gaiath, I think, she seems solid. I've never gotten to use her. I think she's probably between B plus and A. I'll put her in A for now, but I'm not too sure about that. How do I forget his name, but I just know he's not that good. I think C or B. He has like the second highest attack in the game though, I believe. So he's alright. Thea is going to be a C tier. Versolf, a B tier. A lot of control in that champion. Mother Cybele's actually probably an A tier champ. Tomb Lord, A tier. Tio, A plus. Calvalax, A plus. Calvalax is actually showing up in some arena teams right now, which is pretty cool. Tomb Lord. Wait, not Tomb Lord. Whatever his name is. I'm not gonna sit here and try to Tomb Drain. There we go. Probably another A tier on both of them. Solus, an A tier. A lot of damage, a lot of control. The original defensive nuker. Quintus is an A plus. Fantastic nuker. Insane in Hydra, but would be better if his guaranteed debuff strip was actually guaranteed. I would say Hegemon is probably a B plus champion. He has a niche and arena and isn't that good at it anymore, but he can hit and can control even in waves. We have Whirlum, probably a B plus. He's okay. Fortis, B plus after buff. S plus on the Georgid. I forget this guy's name, but he's actually really solid. I'd put him in A plus. We have Narcisse at S plus. Narcisse is just one of the best, and there's no way to argue that. Shunda, another S plus. She runs the Hydra, the best Hydra DPS in the game. Second, well, I wouldn't say second to. The only close ones are the newest one that has been announced. I forget his name, like Onryo or something, and then Toshiro. We have Brogni at I think Brogni's an S tier champ. Just a lot of protection. He heals off of his shields, damages through his shields. Was the original Infinity team. Like he's just him. We have Herndig at an A tier, very solid. Same with Geoffred. Elinarl would go next to Zavia. They do the same thing basically. Mountain King, give him a C tier. He's okay. This guy gets a D. This guy, I think this is Granjar, gets an F. He gets an F. Molly gets an A. Samar gets a B. Kriya gets a B plus. Newt gets an S. He's the only way, well, for a while, besides just some absolutely busted teams that have actually been able to do Fire Knight hard. He opens up the Odin dungeon for speed farming, Sand Devil for speed farming, some people using him in Shogun for speed farming. He's just one of those champions that have changed everything in Raid and is easily S+. I'd say Tormin is probably an S tier champ. Just so much control. He's a decent nuker. He's amazing in all wave content, and I think he might be a little underrated at the moment, especially with speed being such a big thing right now. Acrizia, an S tier champion. I mean, she's been power crept a bit in Hydra, but she's still fantastic. Pixneal would have been good for Fire Knight hard till they changed her. Now I think she's an F tier champion. Senna, I think it's easy to put her at an A plus. She's fantastic, arguably S tier, but she's just a great support. Genturo, A tier. Lady Kimmy, A plus. Ninja, S tier. Mishinaki, S tier. Zenogre, B plus. Harima, S plus. So Ninja, just insane DPS as well as Mishinaki. They also bring a few other things to Hydra. And then Harima is doing Harima things up at S+. She's just completely game changing. Yoshi's probably a B+. That's just ninja food right there. that it is. Mikage food. I still haven't 6-starred mine, my Alexander. I do think that Genzen is really solid, actually, an A. Kyoku, another really solid champion. Gamaran, probably a B+. I think he's better than he's given credit for. Karato is a C tier without Yumiko, and a B+ with. We're going to assume he's with for the ranking. Riho is actually a S tier champ. She's opened up my account to be able to do Sand Devil, opened up my account to speed farm Phantom, well, Shogun faster than I was already able to. She's just insane and somebody who I think isn't given enough love. Jingwan, I still think he's not good, but I'll give him B tier because a lot of people are really liking him. Yumiko is S+, opens up the truly broken trended teams while also being insane in arena. Just one of the best champions in all of Raid. Jinro, useless. Shujin, S+, one of the best for both Hydra and Arena, while also being good basically anywhere you want to take her. She allows for the fastest farms for any dungeons using the Siegfried cheese. I don't know if I want to call it cheese. It takes the best, like some absolute god tier gear, but regardless, she opens that up. Elva is probably an S tier champ. Absolutely insane support. We have Islin, probably an A tier. He's good for Hydra. He's good for he's actually good at stalling in arena, which is pretty funny. But yeah, King Galkabar, probably an A tier. Yeah, A tier is fair for King Galkabar. Really good for Hydra. Owella, I would give probably an A tier right alongside King Galkabar. Actually, no, I guess B+, just under King Galkabar. Then we have Ruark. I never really thought he was that good. Then I figured out he could do some stuff inside of the Cursed City as well as Dragon. So I think it's only fair to put him at B+. He has some use, but not all that much. Saoirse, F tier. Yastrid, I think an S tier champion. It's just, she does so much for Arena. She's one of the best for Hydra. I think she's easily better than Necmo and somebody who you should definitely be investing in. Glaciad, same situation here, but he's kind of like Duchess, but a little bit better actually. So I'm just going to throw him here just to show that he's better. Not that these champions are worse than Duchess, but I do think that if you were to put these next to each other for in-game, I think Glaciad is just the better champion, but both are just insane. Lady of Aerith after the buff is really, really good. For is S+, opens up the fastest teams in the game, as well as the highest damage in the game for Hydra. Padrig is my favorite champion in all of Raid. I think he's the best speed booster. He sets up everybody for your team, well, on your team, as well as debuff stripping and increasing speed. He just, ally attack, he does everything. He's so amazing. My favorite champion by far. Alil is probably a B tier. If they only gave him just a little bit higher multipliers, he would easily be A+ to S, but the multipliers are screwing him. Fina, I would put her at A+ only because she really, I guess A, because she really sets up Tronda. Pretty solid champion there. I forget this woman's name, put her at a B. Emic is S. Emic is just Emic. Insignia is S+ or S. I'll give her S, but she's just insane. Othorion, another S tier champion, another just insane champ. I got nothing else to say. Probably put her not Yannicka. I forget her name. Probably put her at C tier actually. She's not that good. Cillian, another C tier. Lanathril, probably A tier. Basilius, a B tier. Deliana, an A tier. Incarnate, probably a C tier. Sandra, A+. Royal Huntsman, B. Yannica, I'm only going to put an A because of the Yannica Hydro teams, but they're very prevalent and you can't ignore them. Tatura is at A because he's in a lot of the Yannica teams. He's also just an amazing champion, but just for relevancy right now, he is doing really solid in Hydra. Bellinor, after buff, I'd say is an easy A tier. Arbiter, I put it at an A+. She just opens up everybody's accounts to a lot more content as soon as you get her. She's used in most arena teams and like LiveArena and stuff still. Since she's been out for like 5 years, she's still being used as much as she was originally, since LiveArena came out. And I think A+ is fair. Sigmund is probably a, give him B+. He's all right. Ethos, same. I'd put Ethos at A. He hits really hard. And was the original Nightmare campaign farmer. I think that Supreme Elhain is in the same boat as she hits really hard, but I guess B+. Roshkar, one of the original block damage champs. Corvus is amazing, especially for people coming up in clan boss, and also he's really good at dragon. Ashkelon, probably a, I just don't feel like he hits hard enough, but he does have that buff strip, decreased, I guess if you're ignoring Sheep, he's a really great champion. Holsring, after the buff, he's pretty solid. I'd put him at an A tier. Errol, actually, after his buff, he's really solid as well. Probably an A tier. Put her at a B. Her at a B+. Mod at an, I'll put her in an S+. I think Mod's one of the best champions in the game. She's insane. Having a Tuhanarok style buff strip on the passive while also doing a bunch of other things, absolutely insane. Just one of the best champs. Rhonda, A+, a lot of damage. Wixwell S opens up the Yannica teams, just does a whole lot. He's a fantastic champion. Matthias is probably a B+. Martyr is an A+. She's always been amazing, but she's opened up the one of the faster styles of Fire Knight teams, so I think it's only fair to put her there. Cupidus is amazing with Venus, and I said with Karato that we put him wherever we thought with the duo, so I'll put an A+ as long as Venus is there with him. Pinthroy is an A. I'd put Bivold at a B. I'm not too sure on Falmond, actually. I just pulled him recently, so this is more of like a to be determined, but for now, I'm gonna put him at A. I'm not too sure where he actually falls. Saint Nick, he's bad. He's really just bad. I think he needs a buff horribly. I'll put him on a C tier. Venus is an S tier champion, AoE decreased defense weaken, and the HP burn, as well as a buff strip if you have Cupidus with him and giving yourself extra turns. It's just fantastic. Cardiel is, oh man, I think S+ or S is fair. I'll put him at the top of S because I think either way is completely fair. One of the best you know what? Yeah, he's S+. I'm not gonna lie. He's just simply one of the best champs in the game. Black Knight F. Constantine, give him an A. Probably put her at B. Vitreous, I'll put him at A. Altan F. Sil, A+. Pardon, B. Cronam probably an A. Armands is an S+. Contra is an A. Elder Scarg boosts Xena, so he gets some points for that, but besides that, he's not too great. I'll put him at B. Stultus is an A+ champion. Alsgor is actually amazing. I'd put him at A+. Xena is an S tier nuker. Dune Lord Gregor is also S tier because he goes along with Xena and Armands, and I think he's fantastic. Valkyrie, another S tier champ. Valk is just insane. Rorik is probably a C tier. Actually, I'll put him B. Raphmatab is F. Jetney's probably C. are an archer, is an S plus. One of the best controls for Hydra by far, and just control anywhere. She's insane, and I think S plus is fair for her. Turvold is an S tier nuker, amazing. Ursaga, we're gonna put her in S tier as well. Jeez, the whatever these are called, barbarians are pretty insane. A lot of S pluses, and well, an S plus and a lot of S's. I think they're just so incredibly strong. And I think as time goes on, Ursaga is going to pair up with a lot of different champions super well, and might climb between A plus and S, but I think she leans more towards S. Anaya is a C tier. Yakarl is A plus or S. I think either way is fair. He's amazing. Tuhanarok is an S tier. Amazing champion. Bigun is it's probably an A. No, I'd put D tier on War Mother. Ignatius is probably a C tier. He has some control, so I'll put him at B, but I'm not too sure. A plus on Vizig. Gerbtuk is an A. Yeah, I'll put him at an A. Gerda is a D tier. Kurgar is an A. Not too sure where I'd put him. Probably just B. He's horrific. I don't see a word where he's useful. Drakghoul also needs a buff horribly, but I think I put him at D. The Worm Eater, B maybe. Blizzard, probably a B plus. No, I'd put him at an A. He's actually really solid. Gurgo, B. Grazer is an S. This guy, Tagron, he had a little bit of... He shined for a little bit, but he's not that great. I think B plus is fair for him. Actually, this guy is amazing. I'm between S and A. I think it'd be a hot take if I put him in S, but I don't know. I'll put him in A plus. This guy, I actually have no idea what he does. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go read his kit, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have decided that he is, he's probably a C tier. He's not that good. Draco is an A tier. Roxanne is F. Uko is S. Brachus is B plus. Loriaka after buff is high B plus. Wukong is S plus. He's just a game changer. He has been since he came out. Loki, put him at an A plus. Thor is between S. I didn't put Razzle in S plus because Thor's out. I think Thor belongs in S plus. He's a fusion, so he's changing a lot of people's accounts. He's absolutely insane. I think it's only fair to put him at S plus. Freyja, I'm gonna put at a... Oh, what the heck? That's kind of weird. Let me fix that. Freyja is an S tier in my opinion. I really love Freyja. Odin is definitely another S tier. Arguable to put him at S plus, but I think S is fair. Bulliant, I think he's really solid. I'll give him an A plus. Androck, probably another A plus champion. Galathier is top of S tier, well, S plus. He's easily the best champion in the game. I don't think it's all that close. Siegfried is S plus as well. Absolutely broken damage. Alaz, I'll give him an A plus. Gizmak is another S tier champ. Lazarius is another one right at the top of S plus. Gallius, I think, is an A tier. I don't think he's that good, honestly. Mezamel, I'll put at an A plus. Ashnar, I'll put at a B, because the issue with Ashnar is he has some good stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it, he's probably A. But the issue is that he doesn't do that much damage. If he did more damage, he'd probably be A plus to S, but I think A is fair right next to Gallius. We'll put Geralt at S. Garrel's an amazing DPS, but just isn't on the same level that she was originally. She's still absolutely insane, but I do think some of these other champions do it a little bit better than her. Commodus, I love this champion, but I do think he's S, not S+. Carnage, another S tier champ. All the debuffs and stuff he brings is insane, and with Pinpoint being a set now, I think it's only fair that he gets S tier. Aphidus after buff is another S tier, just does insane amounts of damage. Crixia S+, lockouts, resets, if you need it, she probably has it. She's just one of those champs that goes at the top of S tier, at the top of S+. Frony, post buff, S+. I think he's a top 10 nuker in all of Raid, at least for PvP. He's insane, and I think that people need to give him some more love. Yeah, I don't got anything else to say. Mikage, S+. She runs Arena, she runs Hydra, and she's a fusion. Just insane. Toshiro, second or third, I think he's the third best Hydra DPS after this coming update. Right now he's the second best at the time of me recording, but after this update comes through, he's easily going to be the third, not the second. Now we have Calamitous, is probably an S tier champ. He hits insanely hard, does a lot of damage in Hydra. I think it's only fair to put him at S. Nias, I think he's one of the best PvP champs in all of Raid. S+, I think is the only way to put him anywhere. Our Bias is another S tier champion, a fantastic speed booster and things, as well as putting that stone skin with the taunt is just so incredibly strong. Yeah, as you can see, all of the mythics are getting very high ratings. Even the worst mythics are getting put with some of the really solid legendaries. Yeah, I think A is fair for them, but then the A pluses are probably arguable to S, and then I think the S's are arguable to S+, but this is just how I feel about these champions. Now finally, we have the new guy. I think he is going to be the second best Hydra DPS in the game, a top 5 arena nuker, and I think he's going to probably be, he's going to be better than Lazarius. Oh, yeah, I think he might actually end up being better than Lazarius just for pure damage. He's going to be better than Teox. He's just absolutely broken. And I'm going to put him up here just for sake of putting my point there. Beyond broken champion. If you guys haven't looked at videos on him yet, look it up. He's insane. Just look up Raid new champion. I forget what his name is. It's like Oniria or something. I might have it. No, okay. Yeah. I don't have that was the name of the video that I got the screenshot from, but I don't remember his name. But just look it up. He's absolutely broken. Easily one of the best. But yeah, guys, this is my definitive list. This is what I think is, this is how I think all champions, legendaries, and mythics should be rated at this moment in time. If you have any disagreements, or if you have anything you think should be higher or lower, be sure to comment it down below. But yeah, you can take a screenshot if you'd like, pause the video, whatever it may be. But yeah, this is how I feel about the champions. There's very few Fs and Ds. There's actually, I think, yeah, Ds has the least amount out of all of them. And I think the Fs could probably be argued to be D, Ds could be argued to be F, but I think once you get to C and up, it's pretty, I think it's pretty consistent. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking, subscribing. You could consider joining my Discord, the link in the description. Outside of that, guys, I really do appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.